I ran out of patience. On the ruse!
To this day,
Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's stupid. Use your common sense.
All
right, here we go. This is Off the Top Live. I'm your host, Bushido Spirit. Here we have Josh.
What's good?
All right, and we also have Epic.
Taco Supreme.
All right. This nigga just says random shit.
What?
Right. Taco Supremes are delicious, though. I fuck with it, nigga. Anyway, we are here to talk about Spider-Man. Which one is better, Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland? So Josh is on the side of Tom Holland, and Epic is on the side of Tobey, right? Is there anything y'all want to say before we get right into this debate here?
Epic still think we in 2004.
Epic.
2004 was a good year.
All right, still has those nostalgia glasses on. Let's break down the rules right quick. All right, here are the rules here. So
take a look at these.
It's divided into proposition and opposition, right? So
where you posted them at?
I'm posting. Let me post them again. Let me post it again right quick for you. Now you don't have to do everything on this list, but this is just a general structure of what a good debate looks like. I mean, of course, you can do whatever the fuck you want within the time you have. Each round is like 5 minutes. Flip coin. Right. So what are you choosing, Epic?
Tails. Why not?
Tails. Okay.
I was gonna call heads anyways.
All right. Okay, the coin has been flipped. So tails twice, heads once. So Epic, you decide.
Man, shit. Decide what?
Who going first, nigga?
Oh shit! I'm gonna let Josh go here. Why not?
All right. And let me bring up the picture. It's Tobey versus Holland. That is the debate we having right now. Josh, tell me when you're ready, man.
All right. How much time I got? 3 minutes, you said?
You got 5 minutes.
5. But use all 5.
I mean, but when you finish, just say time. Yeah. And I'll end it. I'll close it for you. All right.
Let's see something real quick. All right, I think I'm ready.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
All right. Tom Holland is easily the best Spider-Man. Way better than Tobey Maguire. That's not even a question. He has the better movies. He's the better written overall character. He has the highest grossing film. Like, there's nothing else. He's done more than Tobey Maguire has. He has better feats than Tobey Maguire has, despite what Epic might say. And I have the research and evidence for all that. And yeah, that's it for the opening statement.
All right. That is a time. All right, Epic, let me reset the clock here.
All
right, it's on you. Go ahead.
All right, like I said in my first statement, bro, he was the first one to do it, man. He was the first one to wear the tights and wheel sling on the bitch. There we go, right there. That's my opening statement.
All right, time. All right. So, Josh, you have the same amount of time to respond to that. Tell me when you're ready.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
All right, just because someone's the first to do it, that doesn't make them the best. I'm pretty sure we all can agree if we had stayed whatever was the first to do it, the world would not be where it's at today. We still be primitive as fuck. It's out with the old, in with the new. That's how you progress in life.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the first to do it, and so they got to learn from all the failures that they did in those movies and remake them into better movies. The fact that they actually kept him a teenager is good because now we can actually see him grow into a hero as opposed to just he's a high school student for one scene. Next scene he's 22. Like what happened? We don't know what happened in those like 2 years that skipped in that first movie. What else happened? He has the better villains. Vulture and Mysterio are better than any of the villains. They're better than Doc Ock, Power Ranger Green Goblin, and damn sure better than Venom and Sandman. We all know that. Spider-Man 3 was terrible. Everyone, even Tobey fans, could agree with that. He has, like I said, he has the better feats. He's fought Thanos and his army. He's fought Mysterio, Vulture, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Falcon at the same time. So that means he's fought the tougher opponents.
Okay.
He had everything. Basically, everything these dudes complain about has been addressed. The spider senses, the Peter tingle. That's the best scene, better than any scene in any of the Tobey Maguire movie where he fought them drones in that hallway. The strength feats, I already covered all that. He fought Thanos. Tobey would have got hit, and he would have died. He's smarter than Tobey. He created his own webs. His webs don't come out of his arms like Tobey. So he created his own webs. He beat Vulture without his Tony Stark suit, as I'm pretty sure Epic's gonna say. So we all know that. He beat Mysterio by himself. And then his villains didn't just kill themselves like all the Tobey's villains did. Wait, was that the buzzer?
No, that was somebody's phone.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, and they like to say that Spider-Man 1 made more, and Spider-Man 2 made more than Spider-Man Homecoming. Well, you know I had to go do my research. And if you look in the debate channel, I'm posting up 2 pictures right now. This shows that Homecoming made more than Spider-Man 1. And that's it.
Okay. Time. All right, let me stop the clock here. One thing I want to note is that when you started speaking on the villains that don't pertain to the character Spider-Man, so
I thought we were talking about the whole thing.
I mean, we're talking about the characters though. So
Okay.
whether or not the villains are good don't mean nothing when we're talking about the character in particular. So I just wanted to point that out. So all right, Epic, it's on you to respond to everything he just said. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm trying to think. All right, I'm ready.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so when it comes to, like I said, my boy being the first, he was the one to put on the spandex. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying it. How many times do they have to get the look right? Because we all know that when it comes to looking the part, you have to be the part. They had to put, I don't know how many trial errors and things like that. The way they went with the mask, like I said, I recommend looking up commentaries, director spiels on what they wanted to do. Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire had to put their heads together. When they went with the Green Goblin, would y'all really want to see a guy in a fishnet and some purple panties? I'd rather have Power Ranger in armor than have just some dude on some hallucinogens flying a damn glider. It made sense to me. Now, overall, when it comes to the story of Spider-Man, he was the first one to give us the Uncle Ben layout. And if you think about it, Raimi did the best he could to go with what Stan Lee and what Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby, whatever the hell the guy's names is, rendition of the character. How can you be a 16-year-old with an 80-ass-year-old aunt and uncle? I don't get it, but that's what he went with because it stuck with the comics. He was accurate. He went and did everything that portrayed to the series. He did a true rendition to it. He made his own money. He got his own bitches. Even though the bitches was cheating on him at first, he had to become a man throughout the series. We ain't got to watch no 3 and 5 movies to see someone progress as a character when they already, we just know. We know, we see them in the first film. In like 30 minutes, maybe to an hour, we see the progression. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see no whole series of someone progressing. That shit just lame. Especially when you got superpowers. I'm done.
All right, time. That is a time. Okay. So one other thing to note here is Epic. You kind of did the same thing he did when you brought up like the villains. You're talking about them getting the costumes and shit right. That don't pertain to any. That don't have nothing to do with the character. So, I mean, the costume for Spider-Man, but you're talking about Goblin and shit, right? That don't pertain to nothing. All right. So the next round, the third round is a round. It's a face-off round. So you can go back and forth with each other. Somebody in the comment section, I think Dusty Grape said, "Did you adjust for inflation with those numbers, Josh?"
No.
Okay.
because they was bragging, talking about it beat it back then.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I just went on a simple website. I think it did adjust it for inflation. Let me see if I can go back to it real quick. I mean, hell, it's a simple Google search. That's highest rated Spider-Man movie 2019. We can just start from there.
But again, the same. Even with that right there, even when we're talking about numbers and stuff, the question is, should we even include that in that argument when we're talking about characters? Like how much money they made.
People like trash. Just like what I was saying that when we was talking about 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever, had beat Spider-Man 2. I'm like, well, hell, it got beat by Transformers. So, and that was like, what, Age of Ultron, Age of Extinction, whatever. I'm like, this shit was garbage. So, I mean, people like what they like, I guess.
All right, so I mean, y'all both brought up some good points. Let's get right into the third round here. Do y'all want to say anything before we jump right into that round?
No.
All right, so y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, you get 5 minutes. Do you need more time, or you want to just have 5 minutes to go back and forth?
5 minutes is good.
All right, y'all got 5 minutes to go back and forth. Let me go ahead and start the clock. I'm ready.
Hold on. I got something to say right now. So, if y'all go to Box Office Mojo, damn, where my shit go? Goodness gracious, come here, bitch. All right, so go to Box Office Mojo. Like I said, what I typed in was highest grossing Spider-Man film, and it already adjusted for inflation and shit. So, like I said, Spider-Man 1, the first one, the Raimi film, is still the highest grossing movie, dog, with inflation and all that good shit. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get right into the third round. All right, here we go. All right, the third round is started. You can go back and forth. So yeah, Josh, go ahead. You started off, Josh. Speak on what he just said about the numbers, I guess.
I go now.
Yeah, you go ahead.
I'll go talk about something else.
You go ahead and talk about something else. Just start it off right here. It's back and forth.
All right. So Epic said he wants his character to be a fully grown character already. So he just wants to see the origin. They skipped already when they're already the guy. That makes no sense. Because there's a big in between in the middle of that. That literally makes no fucking sense. With the MCU, it's not the comic book universe. That's what I'm trying to get to these niggas. Once Iron Man 3 came out and they showed the Mandarin wasn't the Mandarin, y'all should have known. They ain't following comic books no more. They making their own universe. So whatever Spider-Man they make, that's the Spider-Man you gotta go with. As long as it's fit in the universe, there ain't no problem with that. So I don't see a problem with them having a teenage Spider-Man growing up. Because as we know, the movies come out around the time that the actual year. Around that same time.
Okay.
So it's a year-by-year thing. So you want them to just do a fucking time skip in one Spider-Man movie? Not like the Avengers where a big thing happens. It's a Spider-Man movie. Like, come on. Like,
all right. I mean, now, Epic, you can respond to him, like, in real time here.
I want him to go, dog, because
Okay.
like I said, it's funny how we talk about time skips, but yeah, we got two big-ass time skips in the fucking MCU universe. We got we got Steve Rogers, how he was the first Avenger, got frozen, came back in time. And how the fuck can you digest 70 years of shit in one movie in the first Avengers film? No one debunks, questions that shit. Okay, fine, whatever. Then when it comes to the whole
see, this is the thing I don't get.
Thanos saga,
Epic wants to know every little possible thing that happens to every character, but he's okay with Tobey Maguire skipping a big chunk in the middle. That's the thing I don't get. Like,
I mean, bro, apparently, if you want to know everybody's day-to-day routine and shit, how come we didn't complain when Thanos stabbed people and they came back 5 years later and people had aged and some people didn't?
Because
like,
we don't care about that. We care.
Oh,
we
so
care
now
about the
we
actual
don't care.
story.
Now,
Hey, hold on. I mean, that ain't got nothing to do with Spider-Man. I mean, it does, but you talking about
Spider-Man is, bro.
Okay.
If you got someone that aged in 5 years and he still come back a vagina or even a massive vag like he was in 2015, 19, whatever year it was, 18, and they come back in 2021 or whatever, it's like, okay. Like I said, I'm just
Spider-Man died. Listen, Spider-Man got snapped when he was 16. He came back 5 years later at 16. Like, they came back the exact same way they disappeared. Was there not?
But how come the dude that was crushing on his girl came back older and even finer?
He didn't come
Bruno
back.
Mars.
He stayed. He stayed on Earth, obviously. They didn't say he got snapped away. He obviously stayed on Earth because he grew 5 years.
I don't get that shit, bro. So how the hell
How?
did May?
What?
Oh, listen, how did May not get older then? Like,
Because she got snapped away too. She even said it. She said, I came back into my apartment and there was some random family living there and they thought I was a mistress.
All right, let's just play dumb. Let's just say the people that was in space. Let's just say the people that was in space when they got snapped away, they didn't age. All right, we'll go with that. But the people that got snapped away on Earth, how come they ass?
Hold on.
Hold
Can we stop talking about the snap? Let's get on to something else. Like,
all right, my bad.
Bring it back to Spider-Man. All right, who's
we've
better?
Been talking about the Spider-Man that doesn't need MCU assistance, doesn't need no blockbuster behind it. Just like with Black Panther. Just like, oh, Black Panther. Everybody know the MCU had to give this Negro a boost up and shit to him to make that damn $1 billion.
Yeah, because Sony
we already
fucked
know
up twice. That's why.
I'm talking about Black Panther, bro. Same thing with it. Like I said, if you got to have a big
I'm talking
franchise
about
blockbuster
Spider-Man. We talking about
series
Black
behind
Panther.
you, I'm talking about everything, bro. 'Cause this like you brought up how, Spider-Man fought Thanos. He did this. He didn't fight Thanos in Homecoming. He showed it fight Thanos in damn Far From Home.
He fought him in Infinity War.
Does that count as a Spider-Man movie? If you just a damn bread and
That's
biscuits?
part of his character arc.
The main course is the chicken, bro. We ain't talking about
What are you talking about?
Hey, hold on. Let me stop the clock. So yeah,
Let's talk. Let's fine. If
yo,
we gonna talk about Tom Holland Spider-Man, let's
hold
exclude
on.
all the little features he done. Let's talk about his movies.
Now we are talking about the character overall, so he can talk about Spider-Man in Civil War and Endgame and in Infinity War. So he can't talk about those movies as well. We're talking about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. All right, so all of his Spider-Man, all the movies he's been in. Same with Tobey Maguire's. All right. Let me add a little bit more time. Y'all seem to be
let's still do this, because like I said, it's still gonna be light work. How come it's different writers for the damn MCU renditions versus his own movies? It's different writers, bro.
Because in his movie he's the main character. In the Avengers movie he's a side character. Like what?
He's a better side character in Civil War than he was in any of the other films, and even in his own movies. Explain that, man.
Stop it.
No,
Explain Spider-Man 3.
Now, Spider-Man 3 is better than damn what he did in his own movie, bro. I'm gonna say that right now.
What did he do so good in Spider-Man 3?
We got the Elemental with Sandman all the way in 2007, and y'all get in 2019 like it's some brand new shit. Explain that then, dog.
What?
Hold on. I want to go back to a point that Epic made, right? He said that the Spider-Man in Civil War, the Spider-Man in the Russo films was different from the Spider-Man in his standalone films, all right?
I think they
now,
are done by
wait,
John
are you saying the differences are negative that makes him a bad character? Is that what you're saying, Epic?
What I'm saying
he was
is
better in those other films instead of his standalone stuff?
What I'm saying is the feature things, well, at least the first feature, because like I said, in Civil War, they did Spider-Man justice, they did fucking Black Panther justice. Those Civil War was like the best time we got them as a damn business. That's like you get a damn chicken deal and a biscuit is better.
The clock is stopped right now. So you're saying that Tom Holland Spider-Man is bad because he was better in those other films? What are you trying to say, really?
He was better in the damn Civil War movie, yeah.
So you said his character's inconsistent? What are you trying to say?
The character's inconsistent, dog.
Okay.
He had quips in Civil War.
His only role in Civil War was to show up and fight. He had no character. That was his only role. How is he better?
He was better with that thing, man.
How?
Bruh, he had quips, man. He had Spider Sense then, dog.
He always had his Peter Tingle.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Because if you look at Civil War, when Falcon was about to hit him with that little Falcon, he dodged it without looking. And
now you admit he have it. Now when y'all,
we always say he had it.
And y'all said he did have it.
Same thing in Infinity War when Thanos' ship showed up, his hairs went up. Like,
okay, so when it chooses, well, let's say like this, when the writers choose,
but then they even said it. He never had control over it. And then Far From Home when he finally mastered it.
Bro, if someone about to bitch slap you, you gonna automatically raise your hand up. That's what Spider Sense is fucking like, dog. No, I don't care what no one say. There's no thing but about it.
He just had. You gotta remember, by the time Far From Home came out, it was what 20. Remember, he got snapped away for 5 years, so he's only been Spider-Man because they said he started Spider-Man like 3 months before Civil War. So he's been Spider-Man for like 3 years. He's still learning everything. He's still 16.
And the Spider-Man PS4 game, he was Spider-Man for 5 years. We already got my house with that one, so I mean...
Hold on. We're not talking about no fucking PS4 no Spider-Man.
Man,
you defended Tobey Maguire, nigga. Stick to Tobey Maguire, dog.
I'm saying, we're going to stick to Tobey Maguire, my question is, what does that have... In that universe, okay, he learned it quicker. In this universe, he didn't. How does that make him a bad character?
I'm saying because there's different writers that handle him through each occasion and whatnot, bro. Because like I said...
it's always been consistent.
It has not been consistent, dog.
Yes, it has.
It has not been consistent, bro. Like I said,
name me an inconsistency.
All right, we're going to name inconsistency, bro. Okay. Like I said, I want to go on the whole MCU bust or whatnot, but let's just say, all right, we're going to talk about just Spider-Man. All right, so Spider-Man. Civil War is hectic. Shit going down. He doing his thing or whatever. All right, cool. But when we get to damn what was it last movie? Endgame or whatnot, it's raining hellfire or whatever. If anyone would have had more of a better chance to avoid this shit, it would have been him. Lie or true, because you have
No, it was way more hectic in Endgame. Are you crazy?
bruh. You telling me
He
he
had to
couldn't
fight 6
he
heroes
couldn't
to
have
fight a whole
avoided that?
army.
You telling me he couldn't have avoided that?
You just said it was hectic in Civil War, but not hectic in Endgame. That makes no sense.
What I'm saying is, it's hectic because they are throwing cars and energy blasts and all this kind of shit or whatever.
And
It
they
was just
wasn't
everybody
doing
fighting.
that in Endgame?
What I'm saying, they did an Endgame, but how come he was cowered up like a bitch holding a glove waiting for Captain Marvel to show up?
No.
That's a flaw
See,
in his character.
he was fighting. If you go back and rewatch the movie, he was fighting. And
Was it
then
him
when
fighting?
Thanos,
Was the suit fighting, bro?
he
Doing
was
that insta
fighting,
kill shit.
and then when Thanos was fighting Scarlet Witch, and he was about to die. He said, "Fire the ship," and that big ass ship started firing all them cannons down, and all the heroes was down until Captain Marvel showed up.
But who did they show cowered up like a bitch though with the power glove? There we go.
What?
Like I just said, who did they
Every
show
hero
cowered up? Was everyone
He was
cowered up?
ducking and
Maybe,
cover like
perhaps,
everyone else was doing.
bruh. Who else was
All right,
cowered up like a bitch
hold
besides
up.
y'all boy
Let me
Tom?
step in here. So we are heavy on the Tom Holland criticism. We haven't spoke on Tobey in a while. So let's
talk about Tobey, brother. Dude was old as
So I'm no. You don't get to talk about Tobey. I'm gonna let Josh go ahead and talk about Tobey for a little bit. Anything else you want to bring up about Tobey?
My big thing with Tobey in those movies is they just do not hold up. They don't hold up at all. Epic has not watched these movies since they come out. This is the reason why he thinks they're so good. I just recently watched these movies about like 2-3 years ago. Them joints do not hold up at all. You could tell they were early 2000 movies. They're too cheesy. It's And then that whole Spider-Man 3 just made no sense, man. The whole thing just made no fucking sense at all. The thing with the butler, and then he going around doing his thing, man. It was bad, dog. Like, I want Epic. When's the last time you watched the Tobey Maguire movie?
It's been years, man. Years.
Exactly. Bush, at some point, some movies, TV shows, they just don't. You could tell they were made in a certain period. And they were meant to be watching that period. They don't hold up in the future. And those movies are one of them.
And that's on to your point about that things get better over time, and you saying that
yes,
that Tom learned from Tobey, and therefore Tom is better. He learned from the mistakes of those previous films.
Yes.
Did he really?
Yes.
Okay, let's all right. You know what? All right, let's say it like this. Let's not talk about the Spider-Man lore, but let's talk about the Spider-Man lore. Tobey had the camera. Tobey was into photography. When have we seen Tom touch a camera? There we go.
In this universe, he's not into photography. They didn't write him into photography.
Well, how did he go?
They have never once hidden that he's into photography in this universe.
Well, how the hell did he get bit by a spider then? In this universe, where did they even hint that he even got bit by a spider?
We don't know, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't add to the story.
So it doesn't matter now. It's just like
saying
because
Sony,
the science lab doesn't matter.
Epic. All right, we're about to go outside the realm. Do you want to see another Spider-Man origin? You want to see it for the 20th time?
I don't have to see a Spider-Man origin, bro, to get the meaning of it. Just like how when Bruce Wayne got his parents shot at Donna,
it don't matter how he got the power. It don't matter how he got the power. It matters what he does with it.
What has he been doing with it then?
What do you mean? What has he been doing with it? He's been fighting in wars and saving Europe and stuff.
Why is he in Europe and he's supposed to be New York's Spider-Man? Why
because
is he
Spider-Man?
On
a class field trip. He's still at high school. That's what you're not getting.
Yeah, these questions don't lead to nothing, Epic. You asking these.
It leads to something. I'm saying,
why is he in a different city? Like,
the ordinary Spider-Man would still be stuck in his damn city doing what he has to do. Why?
So you telling me? Wait, what ordinary Spider-Man are you talking? You talking about comic book Spider-Man?
I'm just talking about Spider-Man in general, dog. He knows that he has to miss field trips
for
the city, man.
So Spider-Man has never left New York ever. That's what you saying.
I'm not saying he's never left New York, but what I'm trying to say is he knows that he has a burden on his back to protect New York.
Yeah,
just like Daredevil has to protect.
We saw that in Far From Home. He has a burden back to protect New York, and he has what do you call? All right, what?
All right, I was gonna say I'm gonna give the chat some. I mean, anybody in the chat want to ask more questions? We got 2 minutes left in this round before we get to the final round. Anybody want to ask these two any questions before we go into that final round? I see people typing in the chat. Say shut up. Oh, Morgan dusty ass in here, man. Why y'all niggas posting smooth brains? Do y'all have any questions for the debaters, man? I know Dusty Grapes had a bunch of different questions up there.
If y'all want an LGBT Spider-Man, put a one in the chat right now. Shit. Let's go ahead and get all this settled and get all this aired out laundry now.
All right, I guess not. All right, so we're gonna go into the final round. This is the closing round, and I want you to in this round just sum up all your points, and tell everybody why you think you won the debate here. All right, so I'm gonna put 5 minutes back on the clock. All right, here we go, and I'm gonna go ahead and let Epic go first since Josh went first in the beginning. Go ahead, Epic.
All right. So, like I said, bro, we talking about Tobey and what he did in 3 films and what he achieved in 3 films without the back of anyone else, just his own name, his own style, the movie series and what they had to do. Now, of course, the movies could have been well written. They could have been better written, exactly. But when you think about it, like he said, it's a product of his time. And what is that supposed to mean? That means that we had shitty Batman movies that come out before then. We had Spawn. They could not handle the Superman genre. Not Superman, but they just couldn't handle superhero genres back then like they could now. I think we all can agree with that shit. So back then, they got the ball moving. They set down the groundwork for Tom, for Andrew, and for the new guy that might be coming in, for them to look at it and be like, all right, so this is what people liked. Let's take a little bit from here, and let's keep on rolling the ball with it. Like I said, and the Raimi movies, the boy had on glasses. When he got the super senses, he took the glasses off. In this movie, in Tom's movies or later movie, he needs some super CGI glasses. Okay, fine, whatever. And the other movie, this boy has stopped the train. In Tom's movie,
hold on, Evan. You got to stop right there. You bringing up new points that you didn't bring up in previous rounds, nigga. This the closing round, dog.
Oh, closing round. All right, well, shit. Like I said, I had already typed this up, so I mean, if anything, it's not brand new. I'm gonna talk about the glasses. I'm gonna talk about the train shit. Because if you go back to my other arguments, I said that shit yesterday.
All right, now if we gonna do that, then I'm gonna have to allow Josh to bring up new shit in his round as well. So,
all right, that's cool.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so like I said, boy, wanted to hold a yacht, and then he got hit by a train. Like I said, everything that the Raimi saga did. Like I said, Raimi is not no spring chicken. This dude has hits on his own without Spider-Man, just like Tobey has hits on his own without the damn Spider-Man sagas and series, bro. What's the last thing that Tom has been involved in besides these movies? And dancing in a damn skirt to Umbrella.
Don't say nothing, Bush.
I'll wait.
All right,
I'm done.
All right, that's your round. All right, Josh, it's on you to respond to everything he just said. And again, this is a closing round, so tell everybody why you think you won. Here you go.
All right. I won because I'm good.
Yeah, you good. You good. Go ahead.
All right. I won because that whole last 2 sentences he said had nothing to do with nothing. Had nothing to do with Spider-Man. Talking about other movies they've been in, that has nothing to do with Spider-Man at all. Every single argument he tried to bring on Tom, I shot it down and gave him examples from Tom's movies. He tried to say Infinity War, Civil War, Endgame don't count, but they're all part of his character arc. What else did I bring up? Oh yeah, and he kept bringing up the fact that it's just because the first is the best. Well, people don't say the first basketball player is the best basketball player. They say Michael Jordan is. They don't say the best first quarterback is the best quarterback. They say Tom Brady is. Shit gets better with time, and these old people it's the same thing. People who always get stuck in the past always think their stuff is better, but evolution happens, and shit gets better over time. Writing gets better over time. Everything gets better over time. So Tom Holland is clearly the superior Spider-Man.
All right.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I will say that to speak on your point at the end, I think Epic pretty much agreed with that point. As far as that the movies back in the past were like struggling. All right, and then Spider-Man was the beacon of hope out of that struggle pile. So I mean, I get. Do you agree with that? The films were worse back then, Epic. Just close things off.
I agree that they needed better writing, just like these movies need better writing. I mean, everything can be better.